Yokoso Otakus, this is Dre here, and today we're going to talk about an anime convention that we'll be going to next week. We even have cool press passes. It's called Sakura Con, and it is held in the Seattle Convention Center, which used to have a different name. I don't remember what it is. But anyway, today we're going to be talking about the panels and some of the fun stuff that I really want to do, and Bree is very excited for as well. While we're there, we won't be posting any videos, but hopefully we'll have some shorts, some community posts, and we'll be definitely posting a lot of pictures in the Discord as we do every year, so jump on over there and check it out. But for now, let's check out the panels. So the first thing I want to talk about is the scheduling this year on the website is kind of separated out by different sections, not just days, and this whole thing's just kind of different. A lot of people are kind of uppity about it. I'm kind of okay with it, though. I think it's totally fine. So the first section is the guest of honor and industry panels section. After that, we have the main stage events. We have the autograph scheduling. We have the programming scheduling, and we have the gaming scheduling, as well as the cultural group schedule. The charity auction, which goes on all weekend. We won't really be talking too much about that. There's some cool stuff they're going to be showing in the theaters. And there is some awesome fan panels, which we will talk about over the weekend. Jumping back up at the top here, we're going to start with the guest of honor. And what we're going to do is we're going to work down the list from Friday, Saturday, and then into Sunday. We will be there on Thursday, but Thursdays are just kind of a ticket pickup day and just kind of horsing around before the con. So another thing I want to mention is I'm going to mention a lot of names, a lot of voice actors and stuff like that. You might not know exactly who they are. At the end of this video, I'm actually going to go through each of the voice actors. It's kind of disruptive to do it in the video here, so we're just going to go through the panels, and I'll just briefly talk about the stuff I remember offhand, and then if you guys want to go to the end, I'll set chapter markers up that'll kind of show each of the people out, and you can kind of jump back and forth if you need. Friday, we have Leah Clark Q&A. The one thing I do remember about her, she's Toga in My Hero Academia, and I think that one's going to be pretty cool from 11 to 12. Then we have Life as an Animator with Hisashi Kagawa and Junichi Hayama. Both of those guys are really cool animators and directors, as I recall. 12:30 has TikToks and memes with Griffin Burns. He's a voice actor, and he does a lot of cool stuff. 1 o'clock has Dubbing Nuts and Bolts with Aaron Roberts, Erica Schroeder, and Mike Mcfarland, like a whole bunch of people. So that one's definitely going to be really cool. Most of the panels are about an hour long too, which I think are totally fine. Then we have Women in Anime with Ellyn Stern. Talks about discussion of women in anime. Christina Vee will do a Q&A. Orange Presents will have a studio panel where the creatives, I guess, are going to be talking about principles in animation. Bandai Namco Filmworks will have an industry panel there. They're going to have 2 guests, which will be Kouhei Eguchi and Shintaro Ikokawa. Looks like there'll be an autograph session with Hisashi and Junichi at 2:30. Both of them going on at the same time. They probably share a table together. I'll show you guys what that stuff looks like in our video when we put it out. They have a Yen Press industry panel on Friday, and Crunchyroll is going to be presenting To Every You I've Loved Before. I do like their premieres. Crunchyroll definitely has a big presence this year. They didn't last year, and sometimes they're kind of just hit and miss with where they're at. But it's going to be really cool this year. Looks like they got some great premieres. So a musical guest Flo is doing a Q&A panel at 4 o'clock, as well as Studio Orange autographs. Xander Mobus, a really cool voice actor. He actually did Dagda in SMT4 Apocalypse, if you're familiar with it. If not, you probably know Joker. Crunchyroll premieres round 1. So this one's kind of cool. I'm going to actually open this one up. It says, be among the first to catch the newest simulcast titles from Crunchyroll coming this spring. They'll show Konosuba, An Explosion on This Wonderful World, a spin-off series, and Dead Mount Death Play. Both be subbed only, which is pretty standard. So 5:30 has kind of a cool event. They're going to have some voice actors, Xander, Erica, and Katelyn, and they will all be playing Dread, which is a tabletop game. So that'll be pretty fun to watch if we end up going to that. Flo is doing some more autographs. Sasaki and Miyano graduation premiere, so another premiere there. Crunchyroll presents Skip and Loafer, another premiere. So 7 o'clock on Friday, we're really excited for that. We're going to have the Queen Bee concert. If you're not familiar with Queen Bee, they are a really awesome Japanese band and did one of the songs called Violence on the Chainsaw Man soundtrack, which I'm really excited to hear live. Definitely going to be awesome. Probably not any coverage on the concerts because I don't think that's really kosher, but I'll talk about it. It'll be super cool, I'm sure. And then they do autographs afterwards at 9. So still sticking on Friday, but moving into the main stage events. They have the opening ceremonies, which starts at 10 o'clock. This year I want to go to it. I actually, fun fact, I've never been to an opening or a closing ceremony for Sakura Con in like the, I don't know, 5 or 6 years I've gone. Never. So I want to do that this year. They also have an AMV contest from 12:30 to 3 o'clock. If you know anything about me and Bree, we are really big AMV fans, especially at Sakura Con. It's a ton of fun. I'll kind of show you guys what the studio looks like that they show those off on. It's super huge, and it's just a really good time. And then 9 o'clock on Friday night is another thing that I really love, despite the fact that I'm very socially awkward and don't normally get out of the house. They have a dance, and it says here from 9 p.m. to 12 p.m., but actually goes into 3 in the morning. And there's a certain cutoff where it becomes 18 only, which is pretty fun. Everything gets kind of wild and just a good time. A lot of cool DJs. So Friday has a very big number of autographs. We've covered a lot of them already, so I'm actually not going to cover the autographs for this one. The programming schedule on Friday is pretty cool. They have manga swaps start opening up at 8 o'clock, and at 9 o'clock, the manga library opens up, which is a pretty neat experience. I don't really partake in it too much, but I'm also going to film that this year as well and kind of show off what that looks like. We'll see if anyone wants to talk about it too. I might be able to catch somebody for like a short interview or an impression of the place. Karaoke always runs. They do that from 9 a.m. to 2:30 p.m. and they do open mic where people come in. It's always a ton of fun. They got anime games and anime openings and stuff like that people like to sing. It's pretty fun. You learn how to ballroom dance from 10 to 12, which is something I've definitely never done. They also have a masquerade ball and stuff that goes on there. They have free crafting. They do cosplay repair, which honestly I should show that off in the video too, because it's a really cool service that they offer. So like if you rip any of your cosplay or damage it in some way, you can go into the cosplay repair room, and there's actually a lot of people that will help you kind of get it back together and put together for the rest of the con. There's a lot of really talented people in there, and it's a really cool little service that they offer. They also do mecha modeling. If you guys are into like Gunpla and stuff like that, you can learn Mahjong, which I actually wouldn't mind doing, but I probably won't have time for this year. All right, so at 10 a.m., and I had to look this up, I'm not going to lie about that, the ARML League has a replay where they go over some of their greatest moments of all time. From what I can tell online, it's a mathematics club. I hope I'm not slaughtering that and it's something totally different, but that's what I found. They do a little mask making also at 11 o'clock, which is always cool because they have, again, like I said, the masquerade ball. And so if you don't have a mask, you have the tuxedo and all the other fancy stuff that you need for it. You can go make your mask there. So one of my all-time favorite things, and I will be showcasing this quite a bit, is the gaming schedule that they have. So historically, Sakura Con has had a number of different areas for gaming. This year, they're going to have VR, which is super cool. They didn't have it last year. They did the year before. Then they're also going to have like kind of a modern gaming, open gaming kind of setup that they do. And that's always been kind of one of my favorite things. It's usually a big room that's got a tournament set up in the back of it that's kind of ongoing. And then there's a place where you can check out different consoles and games that go with them and bring them over to the bunch of TVs that they have set up, and you can play games with your friends and stuff like that, or check out stuff maybe you haven't seen before. They also have, and one of my real favorite things is they have this like kind of vintage setup in a room too. They have old CRTVs, giant like PVMs, all the old kind of cool tech, and all the game systems that hook into them the native way. And I think that's pretty cool. So same thing, you can check out the consoles, check out the games. I just kind of like to go in there and kind of peruse what people are doing because it's always a lot of fun. So with that, the arcade tournaments and free play open up at 8. Then we have the RPG tabletop library and scheduled events starting at 10. They do the retro free play at 10 o'clock. Tournament gaming starts at 10. VR starts at 10. Paint and Take, which I'm not familiar with. Assuming that's probably miniature painting. They also have the Alexandria RPG library, which I'm definitely going to be checking that out. And with any luck, I'll make a little segment in the video or its own little video for that as well. It sounds like they have a lot of really cool RPGs there. They do the board gaming library for open gaming. They have scheduled games with a DM. So if you guys have pre-scheduled something out and you're there, you can check those out. They have a bunch of card game stuff as well. The CCG events start at 11, as well as D&D Adventure League. One of the things I want to check out, because I'm not entirely sure what this means, but they have the Japanime games demos. So we'll be seeing what kind of stuff they have there. Learn to play Weiss Schwarz. That actually is something I'm interested in because I've always kind of wondered about this card game. I don't really own any cards for it or anything, but I'd like to check it out and see. So maybe we'll be doing that. They have a Magic the Gathering event. They have Learn to Play Digimon, so you can learn to play games too. If you guys are interested in trying something out you've never tried before, there's definitely a lot of opportunities for that with the gaming. They have a My tournament, more Magic the Gathering stuff, tons of it, more D&D stuff. Kind of goes out throughout the day. They do more scheduled games at the DM. They do sealed Weiss Schwarz and more Magic the Gathering. Social deduction games. That could be interesting. That runs into the late night too. D&D Adventure League and beginner-friendly sealed Digimon. All right, so they have a Waka tournament, which I've never heard of that before, but I just looked it up. It's a Japanese rhythm game tournament. So that actually would be pretty cool to see. Do some Yu-Gi-Oh! Tons more Magic the Gathering, more D&D, and yeah, that's pretty much all there is to be said about that, but really cool stuff for sure. They also have a cultural group schedule, and these are some of the more interesting kind of cultural related events, obviously. So Husky Northwest Wushu Alliance gets there from 9 to 12. They do martial arts workshop. They show weapons and kicks and fighting and all sorts of cool stuff. They've actually posted some pictures on the Facebook page for them too, which is... They have the fabulous Furoshiki, and this is the little square cloth that people use to wrap packages or gifts with that is reusable. Bree's really interested in them, and I think that'd be kind of a cool thing. We might end up going to it. If we do it, I'll probably try to film Bree doing some stuff. If you're interested in the Japanese exchange teaching, also known as the JET program, they have a couple different events for that as well. They have this one here, which is the info session. They also have another one with alumni a little bit later at 6:30. The first one starts at 2. 3:30, they're going to do Samurai Undressed, which is a lecture and a demonstration where they show off all the kind of Japanese armor and everything that they wear underneath and talk about the history of it and stuff. That's another thing I'm actually really interested in. And then at 8:30 at night, they have Kaze Daiko come in, and it is like a youth ensemble that plays Japanese drums and stuff. It's actually something that looks really cool to me. I don't know that we'll make it because I think that runs at the same time as the concert, but I'll keep it on the list. All right, next up is one thing that I really like to do, but like at late night when I'm really tired or worn out, I want to take a rest, but not sleep, still stay awake. I like to go to the theaters. So the way that they usually have it set up is they have these different rooms with these little partitions everywhere, and they have a really big screen, like a projector screen set up with a bunch of rows of chairs that go kind of across the room, and you really quietly go in there and you kind of sit down during the scheduled times and you watch these shows. Starting real early in the morning on Friday, we have Chihayafuru, episodes 1 through 4. The AMV showcase starts at 9 a.m. Battle Girl High School, episodes 1 through 4 at 9:45. Lights, Camera, Action from 11 to 12. We have this an anime here. It looks like it's a French anime from 11:30 to 1:15. They have Release the Spice, episodes 1 through 4. Mobile Suit Gundam 0080 War in the Pocket, episodes 1 through 6. More AMV showcases. Live action music videos. Those are always pretty fun. Or AMV game shows. That's another good one. The AMV place, they have so many good things. Iron Editor is something that we cannot miss. We have to see it every year. It's like a staple for us. Anonymous Noise 1 through 4. plays, all the fields, some AMVs that are just a bunch of different things. The category courtroom is what they call it. The Magnificent Kotobuki, episodes 1 through 4. The AMV contest 2023. Princess Principal, episodes 1 through 4. And Starship Troopers Trader to Mars plays from 11:15 to 11:59, so it's like a 40-minute. So one of the things that I think is the coolest are these fan panels that they do. So we're going to go through what the Friday fan panels are, and if you are watching this and you run a panel, thank you so much for what you do, because I think that's super, super cool, and they never get enough credit for the things that they do. A couple of these I'm really interested in seeing. So they have parents and chaperones meet and greet, which I think is pretty obvious what goes on there. We have the AI art primer, where they talk about AI art and its ethical implications within the anime. I kind of want to go to that because even though I'm kind of an advocate for AI art, I also hold some other feelings towards AI art. And I've seen a lot of stuff that the community has done with it and discussions people have, and I'm kind of a little worried about what's going to happen with that one. The brave soul to go up there. They have a panel on fan fiction, another one on oral traditions and literary gods, which I think would be super, super cool. You guys know me, I like SMT and a lot of the stuff about gods and oral traditions, so that could be really neat. Digital photography for beginners, for people who are kind of getting into it, and that actually could be a good one to watch at the beginning of Con 2. Learn a little bit more about taking better pictures when you ask people to pose or stuff like that, yeah. Cultivation 101, Chinese occult in pop culture. AMV history, that one could be a lot of fun too. They have a karaoke workshop 101. I'd be interested in seeing what that's about. For karaoke, I've literally just gone and sung, and if I'm bad, I'm bad, and if I'm good, then I guess people clap. Cosplay the way you want. So this one talks about different ways to cosplay however you want to, and probably stigmas in the culture, I'd imagine. Kind of a cool idea, really. They have a lot of these kind of events that are based around cosplay and being comfortable with your body, and, you know, doing low budget stuff, doing high budget stuff, and kind of feeling comfortable wherever you're at. Sakura Con has a really wide variety of costumes that are there. I've seen stuff that looks like people spent $10,000 in 5 years on. I've seen stuff that looks like somebody threw some tape over some overalls and decided to just have some fun. And I think both have a lot of merit, and, you know, you do what you do. So at 10:30, they have Spy Family and Cold War Germany. This actually talks about the historical facts behind Cold War Germany and how it kind of meshes with Spy Family. Anime is gay, and we all know it. An LGBTQIA+ event, and there's a lot of these too. So really, no matter what kind of background you come from, there really is something for you at Sakura Con. And there's a lot of panels like this as well that kind of talk about sexuality in animes and stuff like that, and connections with it. Following that is also OM Gods, It's Queer Culture, which looks at LGBT+ representation in world religions. One of the ones that I'm most excited for, and Bree's also interested in because we've been really into this anime this year, is Alice in Borderland, A Scientific Perspective. This one we're probably definitely going to go to unless it conflicts with something really big, because I just think it'd be cool to learn more about some stuff around Alice in Borderland and hear what people have to say about that. There's an origami panel from 11:30 to 12:30 called Origami is Lit. This panel is called Anime Glasses Mega Knee Panel, and this one actually just talks about glasses in anime and stuff like that. They actually have a really cool little description if you want to check that out on their page. They have Introduction to Writing Fan Fiction, because God knows we need more people writing fan fiction. Another one that sounds pretty interesting, Anime Unpopular Opinions, where you can show up and you can talk about your unpopular opinions in the anime world. That actually looks like it's gonna be set for some hilarity. Another thing that people are really into at the con, obviously, is wigs, and so they do have these wig panels here. This person's showing how you can have a college student budget and still have really great wigs. And I think that there's actually a lot of people that are really into making cheap things look amazing, and that could be a cool. They have a autism and Asperger's meetup. mental health in gaming and cosplay. So, I mean, you can see the fan panels are kind of important issues and things people are interested in as a fan in the community, which I think is great. Improving your con interactions, another one that's really cool that they do kind of at the beginning of con. I will say I've had some personal experiences at the con, especially the couple years that I went by myself, where it's a kind of a bit of both, I guess. I've had some issues kind of trying to make friends, I guess, and I've also been approached by some people that have had a hard time holding a proper conversation with me as well. And so I think that it's kind of cool that they have these kind of events if people do go to them. They have cosplay music videos 101. That could be actually kind of cool. Habits of a good player. They talk about what it means to be a good tabletop RPG player, which I play D&D. I don't talk about that a whole lot, but I play it every now and then, and honestly, I could probably use a panel like that. Cosplay 101, so just the basics of getting into cosplay. Whose initiative is it anyway? Join us on an epic adventure that we make up on the spot. So kind of a whose line is it anyway type of panel. They have a Pokedex making panel, which I think looks really cool too. Bree's kind of interested in that one. Line Con, how to make friends. Another little friend making group. I've never actually been to a panel on any of that stuff before. Might be interesting just to go in and just see what that perspective is like. They have pattern making 101. They also have cute or creepy romance in anime. Cosplay on a ramen level budget. See, I told you there's a lot of those like discount cosplay stuff, and you're welcome here. The Bad US Box Art Hall of Infamy. That actually sounds kind of interesting. So this one is about they review different game boxes that have come out and some of the terrible designs and stuff that they talk about. The Symbiology of Japanese Textiles. Blatant copyright infringement in anime, which would be interesting to me considering how much they like to slap me to the ground when I try to do anything with anime, which is why you don't see a lot of it on the page, unfortunately. The fine line between BL and sports anime. Just by the title, I have to chuckle at that. Intro to Watagai Workshop. And I guess it looks like that's about anime songs or idols, which I'm really not familiar with at all. Neko Sugar Girls, Now and Forever. I can't believe I said that like that. So this is a Neko Sugar Girls experience, whatever the heck that means. I've purposely stayed away from it, and I'm okay keeping it that way. My Hero Academia Truth or Dare. And it's a 13 up panel. I don't know. I'm sure there's a lot of people that really like that, and there is younger contenders, so I'm sure that'll be a ton of fun for you. Order Up, an intro to food anime. I think that would be really cool. Definitely a lot of good food in anime. We've all seen it. Cosplay Tools 101. Intro to cosplay photography and prop work. One thing that Bree doesn't talk about a lot on the page is she's interested in Lolita fashion. So they have a Lolita fashion 101. And if I remember right, a little later that day, they're also going to have one that's for people who don't fit the normal body types of Lolita fashion, and how you can kind of still wear the clothing and different clothing that is of that style, which I think is a really cool thing that they do. I might actually even go to that just because I think that's a really cool thing to support. They have a big one on idols, 25 years of idols, called the Hello Project. They have an intro to 3D printing and cosplay, which I think would be really, really cool. Definitely 3D printing has helped out a ton. If you know or saw my Junpei cosplay from last year, I actually had the Evoker gun, and that was 3D printed and painted and everything. So I'm sure there's a lot of good stuff to learn at that panel. They have the Vocaloid dance and game panel. They have anime's inside jokes and cultural references explained. I'm sure there's a lot of people maybe even new to anime that would really be into that. Genshin, we're doing what for Primogems? There's definitely a ton of Genshin stuff. Ever since Genshin kicked off, it's been huge at Sakura Con every year. Another one that I want to go to, and me and Bree also might go with a friend as well if he wants to join us. There's the Anime Mystery Murder event. And I think that's going to be a ton of fun. If I do go to it, I would like to talk about that a little bit as well, because I like murder mystery stuff and I like anime, and I think it'd be kind of fun to do something in person with that. Another improv, Whose Line Is It Anyway? The influence of fashion in manga and anime. Mecha history and the cultural impact returns. Awesome anime openings, the PlayStation edition. An introduction to manhwa, which is Korean comics. Your waifu and husbando is trash. And I guess people are supposed to show up and argue. Which could be pretty fun. The Persona series, Young at Heart, little Persona panel. We've got those before. I've always tried to go to a Persona or an SMT panel, and every single time I've tried to go, they've got canceled at the last minute. I don't even know. I kind of just gave up trying at a certain point. Cutthroat Cosplay. Seriously, there's an anime for that? A panel on weird anime. That could be a ton of fun. Another one that I really want to go to, and Bree was shocked that they had anyone talking about this anime. Hibine Renmei, Questions with No Answers. Now, if you haven't seen Hibine Renmei before, I will not spoil it, but I will tell you that the panel name for that is very, very, very good, because when the show is over, you are left with a lot to think about. Bree was kind of arguing against my whole 13 episodes is good, strong cohesive stories is excellent, leaving yourself wanting more is great. She did not feel like that was accurate after Hibine Renmei. She wanted to know the answers, so that'd be kind of cool to see what they have to say in that one. 7:30, they have This Is Nijisanji's unofficial fan panel. Talks about VTubing. An Otaku's Guide to Donghua, if I'm not saying, I don't know if I'm saying that correctly. A look at Chinese animation that resembles anime, which is actually kind of a really big thing anymore. I know some people are probably saying that's obvious, but other people are kind of like, oh, really? They're doing that? So that could be a really good panel for a lot of people. They have an AMV theory panel. Zap Spaceship of Love. I feel like I've seen this every year. I don't even know what it is, and honestly, I'm not even going to look at it. If that's your thing, that's your thing. How to Eat Like a Hero. I wonder if that's kind of like maybe a fitness fusion? I don't know. The description of it that I just read really quickly didn't really describe it all that well, but definitely food and anime put together. Another one going on the inclusiveness that I've talked about with the event. Disability in anime, manga, manhwa, and K-dramas. They have a yaoi slumber party, which I never go to and never will go to. Another late night version of the Whose Initiative Is It Anyway? And just so you're aware, the SCMAs, these are like the late night, like 18 plus events, technically. Your Anime List, a fan subbing trivia show. They have a couple trivia events that look kind of good too. Mech History, Armageddon, Ultimate Anime or Dash. Date or Dash, Ultimate Anime Date or Dash, Genshin to Pull the Traveler, the Anime Offensive Show, Drag Play 101, so you want to do drag, Things I Wish I Knew Before Quitting My Day Job. So if I remember right, this one is about an artist who had quit his job, and so he's going to talk about what that was like, which I actually think could be a really interesting perspective. They have Gainax's Mecha Trinity, Gunbuster, Evangelion, and Gurren Lagann. Unlucky AMVs. The Big Lady Appreciation Station. AnimeCon. Into the Omegaverse, A Beginner's Guide to A, B, and O. I don't know what that is. It literally says here, have you found yourself confused by what ABO means? Maybe I need to go to this panel. Records of Anime, collecting anime-related vinyl. That's interesting. I actually didn't know that they had anime soundtracks in vinyl. The Yaoi Bedtime Stories, what we all need. And another one that I am really interested in at night here is the Demonology in Japanese Media. I'll see if I'm coherent enough to drag myself into that after the dance, but That actually could be a lot of fun. And with that, that covers Friday. So jumping all over from the beginning again, but this time checking out Saturday, we have the Queen Bee Q&A panel. Something I'm really excited for is the Ellyn Stern and Richard Epcar Q&A. If you're not familiar with them, Richard Epcar is absolutely amazing and has so many incredible credits in the voiceover world, including JoJo's Bizarre Adventures as Old Man Joseph. I'm very excited to meet him. And Ellyn Stern is also a really wonderful voice actress, and she is married to Richard Epcar, so that actually should be a pretty good panel. At 12 o'clock to 1 o'clock, we have the Mint Neko fashion show. Fri's really excited for that one. Yen Press presents Turtle Me, creator of The Beginning After the End. Bandai Namco Filmworks has autographs. Crunchyroll is presenting Kamikatsu premiere with Junya Enoki. Anime News Network panel is another thing I'd really like to check out, because I actually have been kind of going to them to check out kind of some news for our news videos that we do every week. The Aniplex of America Games panel is another one I really want to check out. It looks like they're going to be showing some Disney Twisted Wonderland, Fate Grand Order, Witch on the Holy Night kind of stuff there. Then we have our autographs with Richard Epcar and Ellyn Stern going at the exact same time. 2:30 brings Orange Presents the Trigun Stampede panel, which I'm also very excited. I really desperately need to watch all of Trigun Stampede. That'll be a pretty cool panel to see. Like I said, Genshin is life at the con, so we have an Everything Genshin panel. The Crunchyroll Industry panel, which also is set to be really good. There's a lot of great stuff on Saturday. We have autographs by Junya Enoki and Xander Mobus. Definitely going to try to get on the Xander Mobus one. I want my SMT4 Apocalypse copy signed by the man himself. Crunchyroll presents To Me, the One Who Loved You premiere. And at 4 o'clock, this is actually really exciting to me. That time I got reincarnated as a slime, the movie, and it's going to be a Scarlet Bond screening, and it's going to have special guests, which is 2 of the voice actors. They have a panel about working on Dragon Quest, The Adventure of Dai. Queen Bee does their autographs again. Crunchyroll presents The Galaxy Next Door premiere. Working on a One Piece film, Red with animation. That actually would be interesting too. I'm not a big One Piece fan, but I'd like to see what he has to say about the movie making it. The Flow concerts at 7 p.m. Definitely going to be going to that. Me and Bree are pretty excited. If you don't know who Flow is, they're a Japanese band, and I believe they did an opening to Naruto. Crunchyroll presents My Home Hero premiere at 7:30. Magic and Muscles special screening. Then we get some of our more late night stuff. We have Aaron Shares Too Much with Aaron Roberts. And if you guys have never been to the 18 plus, it says here, turn your cell phones off. They definitely don't want some of the stuff recorded that they talk about in the 18 plus panels. Flo does their autograph. So going into the main stage event, like I said, the dance goes until 3 a.m. And then at 9 a.m. they have the cosplay contest. So I guess if you want to sleep 6 hours, you could jump straight from one to the other. Mint Neko does another fashion show, which we covered before, Flow concert, and then at 9 p.m., the dance again. So we got Friday night dance and Saturday night dance. All right, then we go into the programming schedule for Saturday. So the continuation until 1 a.m. is cosplay chess late night at midnight. At 12 a.m., the manga library opens, so I'm pretty sure that's like a 24-hour event. Like I said, I haven't gone to the manga library, but it'd be kind of cool. Super secret Tetsuman tournament. The ARML League replay. Manga swaps start opening at 8 a.m. They have open mic. Free crafting, the cosplay contest. Mecha modeling is opened up. Learn Mahjong. ARML League replay again. Then they have the Shibori crafting. So Shibori is like the picture that I'm always finding is like a white cloth with kind of a dye pattern in it. I'd be actually kind of interested to see how that works, and I'd be able to check that out. Cosplay repair opens at 10 a.m. They have free crafting. I'm not really sure what setup is. It might be just a con thing. The extremely hard take-home anime quiz is something that you can do during your time at the con. I've looked at the questions before. I've never actually done it. There is a reason why you can take it home, why you can research online and stuff, and it is because it literally is extremely hard. But this year you can win a PS5. So that's actually pretty cool. I would like to look at it, but I'm probably not going to participate this year unless any of y'all want to help me out. But I think that's probably cheating. So noon, we start the ukiyo-e crafting, and I apologize if I slaughtered that. That's wood blocks that you use for painting, basically. Then they have Mahjong for beginners, more free crafting, Riichi Nomi guest lecture, so they'll learn about some Mahjong moves. Doing story time at 2. Not exactly sure what that is. The Sakura Cup comes up, the ARML League replay again. Free crafting, learn to dance the foxtrot. Learn to dance the foxtrot. The karaoke idol finals. Then they do a Lotus Lantern crafting. I told Brie about that. She's really excited. I actually would like to kind of do some crafting stuff this year. You can learn to dance jive with Aria Ballroom. Sakura Cup broadcast. Free crafting. Open mic. This is another one I'll probably slaughter, but they have the Kion Nobari crafting, and that's like the carp streamers or the koi streamers that you guys have seen, I'm sure. Mecha Modeling Contest Awards. And they have cosplay chess starting at night, 7 o'clock. More learn how to play Mahjong or free Mahjong play. ARML more again. Mecha Modeling. They have Let's Play Mahjong, so Mahjong in anime. They have Mahjong in anime again after that too. There's a Mahjong free play, and then this section finishes off with more ARML League. So for Saturday in the gaming schedule, I'm gonna save a little bit of time on the video and not cover it. Nearly every single event, if not every single event on Saturday, is kind of a same thing as what was on Friday. So see Friday, I guess, for that one. So as far as the Saturday cultural groups go, they have Discover the Sound of Traditional Japanese Harps. I'm not even gonna try to pronounce this one, but the one that you see on the screen right here, this is like a martial arts exposition that they're doing, so it'll be kind of interesting to see that. They have Change Kids Health to change the future, supercharge your gaming with Extra Life. If you guys are familiar with Extra Life, I actually think that's a charity event that they do. I'm not sure how that plays into Sakura Con, but that could be interesting. They also have Japanese flower arranging. Brie would probably be very interested in that. And finally, at 4:30 to 6 o'clock, they have an intro to Japanese traditional elements. And that actually I would really, really like. I'm pretty big into music and audio stuff, so that'd be really cool to see what kind of traditional instruments they are. I'm not that familiar with the instruments in Japan. So one of my other favorite things, Saturday has plenty of theater coverage. Starting with the Midnight Run at midnight. Imagine. Then they have Peter Grill and the Philosopher's Time, episodes 1 through 4. Sweet Blue Flowers, 1 through 4. Mr. Tonagawa, Middle Management Blues, 1 through 4. Asura Cryan, 1 through 4. Rini Season 3, episodes 51 through 54. That's an interesting choice. Evangelion AMVs start at 9:30. They're always top-notch. K-On! Season 2, an anime I don't like at all. Episodes 1 through 4, you guys can check that out if you show up. The AMV Creator Showcase, Kill Me Baby, episodes 1 through 4. The AMV Contest 2023 replay. Mobile Suit Gundam, Reconquista in G1 through 9. I actually don't know a whole lot about Mobile Gundam. You guys keep telling me I need to get into it. Maybe I should check something out at Sakura Con. Comedy and parody AMVs, another one that I love, but Iron Editor is the best. It is the best AMV show. I am just convinced of it. It is so freaking fun. They take 2 AMV masters and they have but 2 hours to create a masterpiece. And so you sit there and you watch all these different AMVs as these 2 people work, and then they battle it off at the end, and we all vote via clapping who's the winner. Samurai Jam, Bakumatsu Rock 1 through 4, Hero's Mask 1 through 4, AMVs Then and Now. It's always kind of good to look at some classic AMVs. They're going to play Sonic the Hedgehog 2, which I never saw. Very, very interesting. I did not know that we were getting that movie. That could be fun to watch. AMV contest favorites, nearly a decade of Vlad. AMVs that ruin the song in a good way. The Girl in Twilight episodes 1 through 4, and The Greatest Show starting at 11 p.m. that Saturday night. In the Philippines. Also, fanfiction Free Write, How Streetwear Became for Otakus, Exploring Japanese Textiles, Constructed Languages from Elvish to Klingon, Cutie Honey and the Rise of the Magical Girl. Etra-chan Saw It Look Over. No idea what that is, but it looks like there's a lot of web mangas on YouTube that they're going to talk about, and they have voiceovers. The Orin Host Club Q&A with a trivia panel. That could be up Bree's alley for sure. Writer's Block and Inspirations. That actually, I would almost like to go to that myself. Queerness and Cosplay, a retrospective. This was the event that I was talking about in Friday's stuff. They have the Lolita for everybody. So they kind of talk about, non-standard body styles and still being able to dress in Lolita fashion. I think it's kind of cool. How I learned to stop worrying and drop shows I'm not going to watch. That hits right in the feels on that one. Beyond Anime High School, anime for grown-ups. I mean, I'm pretty well-versed on anime that I like. Track Attack, A History of Japanese Railways. Ooh, that could be cool, too. Since we're going to Japan soon, we should learn something about the railways. Writing settings, scenes, and characters. The Art of Bonsai. That's a cool one, too. The Game Surge, Ultimate Video Game Trivia. I almost wonder if I should go to that. See if I'm any good at it. Maybe. DAHC and Anime. Not really sure. Oh, that's German, Austria kind of areas, I guess. So they're looking at the European side of animes. Another one that I'm really interested in is why your live action adaptations will fail you. I think that is a really relevant panel to have after stuff that we've had recently, like Cowboy Bebop, Idol Show. Local idol groups perform from all genres. Oh, that's actually kind of cool. I didn't know we had local idol groups. Taboo the Game Show Anime Edition. Learn K-pop Dance Intermediate. I'm not going to be able to do that one. I can tell you now I'm not a dancer. Obscure LOTR adaptations. Very interesting, actually. Bree's a big Lord of the Rings fan. I didn't even see this one before. Habits of a Good GM. That could be helpful. The Otaku 25 Plus panel. I actually feel that one real deeply. That's at 11:45 a.m. That's kind of early in the day. I don't know if we'll catch that, but maybe. Name That Tune, Kirby's Dream Songs. The Moe Maid Cafe Culture. Canadian Anime Heritage Minutes. Anime Hip Hop and Streetwear, The Integration. All about webtoons, Korean style. We watched every Lupin 3 movie, so you don't have to. Please don't. Trains, ferries, and buses. Oh my. So this is actually a good one here. They're talking about public transportation theory and planning. Idol Random Dance Play. Becoming a Con Artist. Networking the convention scene. I am terrible at networking. It's hard for me to even talk to people, I'm not going to lie. Zap Spaceship of Love. The Great Big Nerd Debate. Posing 101 from Oh No to Pro. That actually could help me out. I went to the JoJo cosplay panel the other year, and I really quickly realized, as much as I've watched JoJo, I have not practiced the poses near enough, and I kind of looked foolish. Cosplay Wrestling Federation, Sakurumble 3. And one thing that I'm super interested in is this panel. It's called Modding to Translate an Anime Game. I absolutely want to go to this one if I can. So this is Mod Group is actually coming in to do this panel, and they take games that were released in Japan and they translate them to English, and then they patch them so that they have basically a ROM file with the English. So that would be really interesting to learn about, considering like I've dabbled in some upscaling projects and stuff like that. Naruto, a plural allegory. Special effects cosplay photography. Mixed media cosplay creation. Resonance of the Soul, DWMA students host the panel. Talk about some Soul Eater there. An insider look at the 2022 /R Anime Awards. An insider look at the 2022 /R Anime Awards. I actually don't go to that subreddit very often, but could be interesting. The influence of Sailor Moon on pop culture and today. Mikawa Flower Fest, an evening of friendship and glory. RPGs, solutions, and stories. Okay, so this is people talking about stuff that happened to them during RPGs that were kind of wild. That could be interesting depending on the stories. Retro shoujo melodrama. Name That Anime Tune 2.0, a game I would be absolutely terrible at. You'd think I'd be good with anime songs. I have no idea the names of any of them. Tokyo Revengers Jeopardy. Still haven't seen that yet. Improvaganza. So they have actually quite a bit of improv events this year. The Ultimate Pokemon Video Game Trivia Show. I think we should take Bree on that. I think I should drag her out there and film her. That sounds awesome. I would love to see how she does in that. Hidden Gems of the 2010s. Performance Fest. How does one pachinko? So that's another thing. I would like to see this because I've always kind of wondered about pachinko. I've heard it's totally crazy in Japan, but I've never played it or I don't know anything about it. I've seen some of the machines. They got some cool ones. BTS Army 101. The evolution of the magical girl genre. Japan Jeopardy. I think that would be fun. Awesome anime openings. Danmei and Bai-He openings. Great Greek video game trivia. Fan fiction and the internet. AMV 101. They have one on Holo Live, which is called Super Chat, Smiles, and Sakura. An analysis of anime tropes. It's not like I'm hosting this panel for you or anything. Anime on Stage. Arcade and Pinball Collecting 101. Fanfic 101. The Procrastinator's Guide to Fanfiction. Well, I am a procrastinator, but I don't really care for fanfic. Step Up Your Skit. Masquerade Performance 202. Social media for cosplay. I totally am good on that. Ayashiki, The Power of Healing. I'm not sure if I said that right, but that could be interesting. A short journey through the genre of healing anime and why it hurts so good. Fanfiction for dummies. No. Fanfiction, A Dummy's Guide. The Extreme Anime Jeopardy. That sounds interesting. I don't know what makes it extreme, but it sounds interesting. Slay the House Lip Sync Showdown. Weebs Are Growing Up 18 plus stand-up comedy show. Psychotic. Surviving Your Violent Waifu. I've never understood that whole thing that people do. Help. Is my favorite anime problematic? BL, Yaoi, and Danmai. A socio-historical context of MM genres. Boy love. 9:15 is the Random Play Dance. Sounds like they're doing K-pop dances. RPG Solutions and Unstories Unleashed. Shooting the Moon. A Symphogear panel. Zap Spaceship of Love Again, Love Line. Writing R18 Tastefully. One that me and Bree are very, very excited to go to. 10:30 p.m. we have What is Chainsaw Man Really About? They say this one's going to be spoiler-filled, which will probably hurt Bree a little bit, but I'm caught up on the manga, so I'm pretty stoked to see that. Queer representation in anime and manga. Casual Anime Jeopardy. If I don't make it to any of them, I think I'm going to go to Casual Anime Jeopardy. Anime Abominations, the PSX edition. Symbology 101. I Can't Get Married Now. An analysis of late night anime tropes. Late night anime tropes. Nice. Best of the Worst fanfic. And Twisted Wonderland. Pack Your PJs. No idea what that's about. Last but not least, we have Sunday, the final of the con. The one thing that I do want to say about the last day is I generally have skipped it. I mean, pretty much I've always skipped it. The only thing that they really do that's like super big generally is the closing ceremonies. And again, I said I've never been to an opening or a closing, so I want to try to get in on that this year. So this one's not going to be very long. This is going to be much shorter than the last two. So we have Leah Clark talks voice acting in My Hero Academia. That one's actually a really good one. That's at 10 a.m. though. I don't know about after a Saturday night. Food opinions to get you canceled with Xander Mobus. Do a Q&A with Junya Enoki. Bandai Namco Filmworks autographs. The Hisashi Kagawa autographs. Let's talk specifics about the voiceover industry. Bree usually likes to go to those. She has a lot of interest in voiceover stuff. AMA with Katelyn Gault. Studio Orange autographs. Junichi Hayama autographs. Now this next one, this is what I am most excited for, and so is Bree. Crunchyroll presents Dr. Stone Season 3 new episode world premiere. So there's a lot there, but this is Season 3 of Dr. Stone, and I think that they're going to let us watch the first 2 episodes of it, which, yes, so freaking excited. That's going to make the whole Sunday worth it. Mike Mcfarland has a Q&A. More Junya Enoki autograph, so plenty of time to get his autograph, which is cool. Erica Schroeder is going to do a Q&A, and then they have the Crunchyroll premieres round 2. So I just threw this up on the screen, but it says that they are going to have the first episodes of Ayaka, Sacrificial Princess, and The King of Beasts, and why Raeliana ended up at the Duke's Mansion. So, like I said, the main stage events are very, very short. The dance ends at 3 a.m. Then they do Cosplay Wrestling Federation Sakura Rumble 3 as the main event. They do the AMV Contest Award Ceremony from 1:30 to 2:30. And the con closes itself out at 4 to 5 with the closing ceremonies. So I am going to skip over the programming schedule again for Sunday. It's pretty identical to what there was on Friday and Saturday, so not a whole lot to report. The same can also be said for the gaming schedule. So the cultural group schedule on Sunday has 2 things going on. They have the Puget Area Paper Folding Enthusiast Roundtable, and the Northwest Kung Fu and Fitness will show an introduction to the benefits of traditional Kung Fu. It'll be pretty cool. So finishing off the theater runs, we have Blade of the Immortal, the live action, Cutie Honey Universe, episodes 1 through 4, Natsu no Arashi, 1 through 4. Waiting in the Summer! Oh my god, I love this anime. This is a guilty pleasure anime because everyone hates it for a very specific reason. It is one of my favorites. AMV Showcase, Blessing of the Campanella, episodes 1 through 4. The AMV Contest 2023, Best of the Non-Finalist Entries. My Miracle. Adam, The Beginning, episodes 1 through 4. Bass Squash, 1 through 4. AMV's Greatest Hits. And another anime that is like my absolute favorite, Sayonara Zetsobu Sensei. Episodes 1 through 6. If you have not seen that anime, check that out. I freaking loved it. I don't think we're ever going to get a dub on it, but if you like subs, it is definitely top notch. Right? It's actually one of my favorites along with the Monogatari series. So Sunday also has quite a bit of fan panels, surprisingly. So Himbology finishes up through midnight. So there's a whole bunch of continuations from the night before, and we read all those before. But at 12:15, they have the Shenanigans Cosplayers Say, 18 plus, Delightful Dorks, Wholesome BL, Yaoi Story, Delicious Dinner Date, AI in Anime, another very bold choice by someone who's putting that on, How to Draw Without Dying Live, History of Gyaru, Gal, it looks like Japanese fashion is what they talk about in that. They have Magic the Gathering or romance novel cover. Do you think you can spot the difference between Magic the Gathering art and some romance novel covers? Yes, that's a good one. I like it. Kingdom Hearts Roleplay Q&A. I'm good. Nendoroids and you, figure collecting. Love Nendoroids. I do not have that many. Doki Doki Friendship Game, paper storage, origami boxes. That could be actually pretty useful. Oh my gosh, the Mobile Gacha Game Support Group. I thankfully don't have to go to that this year, but I did get into Puzzles and Dragons for a little bit for the JoJo event. Spent no money though. Budgeting for cosplay. Intro to competitive cosplay. Something I have no desire to do. I just like to dress up for fun. Geeking your public library. Interesting. Okay, so it's saying they're disappointed at the selection of manga or anime at the local library. I actually think it's cool to even have them at all. Surviving life after con. I wouldn't want to go to that. I think it would just make me even more sad when when con's over. Gojo's class on the past and future of the Jujutsu world. That could be pretty cool. They dive into the Jujutsu Kaisen manga. Live cosplay sketch workshop. Satoshi Kon, Dreams in Ink. So you want to be a staffer. This one would be interesting. I've considered volunteering as a staff member before because I've gone for so many years, but at the same time, I kind of just like to go and party for 3 days. How to panel a panel. Yo, dog, you like panels? We can show you how to panel a panel in this panel. How to haiku. Otaku Family Feud. That actually sounds pretty darn fun. Cosplay Wrestling Federation. We've talked about that, I think, 3 times now. Demystifying cosplay contests. How to build a better panel. Zap Spaceship of Love. Otaku history. Super Happy Fun Time Games. What is this? A sports festival? Champion your team in rock, paper, scissors war. Work together through hoopstroke. I'm totally good on this. Take your team to the top in sticker relay. And then the grand finale is an anime-themed musical chairs. Oh, I would like to watch that, but not participate. Crippled Guide to Anime. That's also another cool one, talking about disability representation. Ultimate Werewolf. Cultural Cross-Pollination. Gunpla History and Appreciation. Spoilers Ahead. Interesting. So Spoilers Ahead is actually a panel where they talk about spoilers in games and anime that you may not have seen. So I guess people who love spoilers can show up and get spoiled. Intro to Competitive Cosplay. Whose line was that anyway? The Tales of Series Edition. Nice. Karaoke Workshop 102. Vocal Training. Posing in Cosplay. Another posing one I probably should go to. Shenanigans Cosplayers Say. Tier Making Mania. I actually would like to check that out. People seem to love tier making videos on YouTube. So that could be something I could learn about, maybe. Make a video. And finally, we end with Kawaii Culture in Japan. Maid Cafes in Japan. Spoiler, while we're in Japan, we probably won't go to a maid cafe, so you'll probably see 0 coverage of that. But who knows? Who knows? All right, so the next thing I'm going to go through with the con is the guest list. I did not talk heavily about them in any of the previous stuff, so this is the place you can go where you'll hear me talk about these quick blurbs about who these people are. And they are in alphabetical order by first name, it looks like. Aaron Roberts says that he is Uta in Tokyo Ghoul, Klaus Lunettes in Black Clover, Kai in Dragon Ball Super, Amiya Woods in My Hero Academia, Grimsby Keen in Black Butler, Samuel in Fairy Tail, Howard Link in D. Greyman, and Yoshikazu Aihara in Star Blazers. I'm going to leave it at that. I'm not going to go too much deeper into it. Definitely some big ones. Christina Vee, she is voice actress, director, and producer, and she is known mostly for Sailor Mars and Sailor Moon, Hawk in The Seven Deadly Sins, which I think makes Brie very happy, Killua in Hunter x Hunter, and Darkness in Konosuba. Next, we have Erica Lindbeck. She is a voice actress, and she has been in some very big things, such as Jessie in the Final Fantasy VII Remake, Luna in Hell of a Boss, and Amira Blight in The Owl's House. Well as many, many more. I'm definitely not being full coverage on these. So Ellyn Stern, the wife of Mr. Richard Epcar, she has worked in Belle, Lupin the Third, Bleach, Pokemon Generations, some of my favorite games of all time, Star Oceans 1 and 2, She's in Phantasy Star Online 2 and Ghost in the Shell Innocence. Erica Schroeder, also known as Bella Hudson. So she's out in New York, actually, which is interesting, and she has been in over 150 characters, video games in the past. So they did not jump into that. I had to run into a different page here. So she's been 10 characters in 5 different Yu-Gi-Oh! Series, being the only voice actress to appear in all 5 series. Very, very interesting. She's also been in Pokemon. She was Nurse Joy. Wow. P-Dove. Sylveon. That's pretty wild. Monkey D. Luffy in One Piece. Tons of great stuff. I could literally cover her for a while, but we're not going to sit here and just dote on her. Flo, the band. We talked about them. Griffin Burns. He's another voice actor out of LA, and he also does some acoustic guitars. One thing that we definitely know him as is Doppio in JoJo's Bizarre Adventures, and Muichiro in Demon Slayer, Todd Snap in the new Pokemon Snap. Then we have Hisashi Kagawa, and he is the character designer best known for Saikano Shi, The Ultimate Weapon, One Piece, Defeat the Pirate, a bunch of other stuff. He's got some really cool credits under his belt. This guy that I swear I've seen before, and I don't remember why. This is Junichi Hayama, and he is an animator again. He's been doing it since 1983 and worked with Masami Suda on Fist of the North Star, which is awesome in itself. Then we have Junya Enoki, and it says here he is mostly known for Yuji Itadori from Jujutsu Kaisen. Imagine that. As well as Saishu Inu from Tokyo Revengers, and Mobile Suit Gundam, and Panacotta Fuego from JoJo's Bizarre Adventures. Golden Wind! Yeah, that was lame. Katelyn Gault. We have Katelyn Gault. She's been in film, television, and theater, and she is known for a character in Tales of Arise, Monster Hunter Rise, big major names. That's really cool. Kenji Muto, the director of Trigun Stampede. Need we say more? Kiyotaka Waki. He's the chief producer at Studio Orange. He is Trigun Stampede's lead producer. We also have Kouhei Eguchi, and he is a animation producer who worked on That Time I Got Reincarnated as a Slime, the movie, as well as working on Blue Lock. Yes. That's pretty amazing. Blue Lock is fantastic. Even if you don't like sports animes, check it out. Cool. Leah Clark, talked about her already. Definitely know her from Himiko Toga from My Hero Academia, and Kobayashi in Miss Kobayashi's Dragon Maid Season 2, to actually specify, is interesting. And she was also in How Not to Summon a Demon Lord. Mike Mcfarland. He is definitely known as Master Roshi in Dragon Ball Z and Dragon Ball Super. He's also Gene Kirstein in Attack on Titan. So Mint Neko, we've talked about Mint Neko in the fashion scene here. So this is definitely a really awesome designer as far as like Japanese brands and stuff go. Queen Bee, the band, we've talked about them. Known for Violence, the song in Chainsaw Man anime. The legendary Richard Epcar. He's been 1.5 million things, but I'm just going to tell you right now, the one thing that I care the absolute most for is Old Man Joseph. But he has also done some other really great stuff as well, like Raiden in Mortal Kombat. Shintaro Ikokawa is a unit director, it says, and he works on storyboards and animations for 8-Bit Co. He's known as the hero in a pinch. Xander Mobus, I've talked about him before. The thing I'm most excited for is he was Dagda in Shin Megami Tensei, but what more people are probably much more excited for is he was the protagonist in Persona 5. He's also been in Super Smash Bros., Super Street Fighter V, Soul Calibur 6, and One Punch Man, Mob Psycho 100, Hunter x Hunter, all the epic stuff. And the last person that we'll mention today is Yoshihiro Watanabe. Watanabe is a producer at the animation studio Orange Ltd. So he's been working on Trigun Stampede and Beastars. When season 2